Yes, those who are joining online, just ping me fast. Okay, fine. So, what we have discussed in the previous week,
This meeting is being recorded.
functions, and we have also seen that how we can use the functions by calling them again and again, and lots of things we have discussed. Now, what we are going to do is we will discuss about functions in TypeScript because the functions in TypeScript, why these front rows are free? Yes, last two rows, boys and girls, come forward. Last two rows, come forward. Girls, come forward. It's already a very big screen. Text is not visible properly. You should sit in the front rows if they are free. If you are having a fear that I will ask, I can ask from backward rows also, right? Okay. Functions in TypeScript. Till now, I think you are getting about TypeScript as it is just like JavaScript, which will add the type. Understood? Which will add some particular type to any function, object, variable, or anything. Now, the thing is, what is function? Draw, match logic, not strike out, and second time click bug solved. Match logic, not strike out. Raju, I can't get your message that draw, match logic, not strike out. You're talking about tic tac toe. I got it, but what is this strikeout? Yes, sir. Arey, tell it clearly. What do you want to ask? So in tic tac toe, we have left with two bugs, right? One bug was double click should not be allowed, and second thing was draw condition. How many of you have solved those bugs? No one. Why? Weekend. Pushpa 2. Huh? Yes. Why haven't you solved those bugs? How many of you developed tic tac toe and published it? Published? GitHub? Live link created? No? Why? It is working fine? Okay. So why didn't you try to solve those bugs? Tell me. Why didn't you tried? Or if you tried, you couldn't got it. What is the reason? You didn't tried or you couldn't solve. How many of you tried to solve that bug? Okay, only one person is raising hand. What about others? You have to think like how you can prevent something, right? Generally, thinking comes from problem, right? Let's say your mom is calling and you are out. You will not pick the call. After reaching your room, you will call again. Ah, I was sleeping. That's called problem solving, right? So we have to embed those logics in programming. We'll see about it. Let's first discuss functions. So how you will define the functions? What exactly is the definition of functions? Let me show you function. If you can draw some particular definition from that. First, let's see it with JavaScript only. If I am writing something like this, that function of hello console.log it is a hello function. Don't talk, guys. Now, what exactly is this function? What is this function? So you can see that function is having a block of code. Block of code means written between the curly bracket. This is a block of code. So first is the this much definition only, that functions are the block of code. Functions are the block of code. Okay. What are functions? They are the block of code. Now what they will do? They are used to perform a certain task. And what is the task of this hello function? That it will print that it is a hello function, right? So definition is crystal clear, that functions are the block of code. They are used to perform a certain task. To perform a certain task. And is there any benefit of using them? Yes, there is a benefit of using them. So the benefit is this one. Now you can call this function. We can call this function. If you are running this program, it will not print anything. Why? Because it should print console.log. It's a hello function. It will not print anything because this particular statement is inside this hello function. And now you have to call this function. You have to call this function. So calling this function means simply you can write hello. That's it. That's how we are calling it. Okay. You are running it and now it will print. And now there is one more benefit, that functions are the, we can call them. So we say them, they are callable, right? So now again you can mention something in their definition. Definition is the practical approach in English language. That's the definition. So no need to learn the definition. Just try to match the practical values. So what we are doing, that functions are the block of code. They are used to perform a certain task. Functions are generally callable. Not every time, but generally. Functions are generally callable. We can call them. We can also reuse the function. And this particular example we have seen in our tic-tac-toe, that one function was used 18 times. It means that you have to write code only once. You can use it thousands of times if it is required. So this is the definition now for functions, that functions are the block of code. They are used to perform a certain task, and functions are generally callable. We can call them. Callable means we can call them. We can also reuse the function. That's it. That's the definition now. Is there any doubt in the definition? No? Okay. Now, as Typescript adds the type, Typescript adds the type. So this is the same function I will check in Typescript now. Okay, same function I'll check in Typescript now. And what if I'm pasting the same function to my Typescript? So this is how it is getting converted. And if you run this, it is printing that it is a hello function. But the case is where we are adding the type into this. We are not adding into the type. This is a simple JavaScript function. Okay, not an issue. So what I will do is same thing. Same thing I will do here, that colon, and then I will say that the particular function hello is a number function. Okay, number function. And now once you are seeing it, that when I created it number, okay, when I'm saying that my hello function is a number function, what does it mean? Or I think we generally start with the C language in our BTech. So there some statement are like this: return 0. What do you mean by this return 0? How many of you have ever talked in C language? Like have just seen it? C language. Those who are from BTech CSE, they are definitely done C language. And here also, if you are enrolled in some programs, they taught C language. So what is that return zero? Anyone? No? See, in programming, everything has its logic. If there's a semicolon, there will be a logic behind it. There will be a logic behind it. Definitely. And now if I'm saying that return zero, thank you. If I'm saying that return zero, what does it mean? If I'm saying return one, what does it mean? It's not true or false, something like that. Don't go that much deep. Now, if you exit gracefully, return. Now, I'll tell you one thing. This particular number is showing you error now, right? Why it is showing error? Now, this function is saying you that, boss, you have typecasted the hello function to be a number function and you are not returning any number, right? You are not returning any number. You should return a number now. Otherwise, this will be a error. This is what meant by return zero or all those statements. Now, what if simply I'm saying that return zero? Error is removed. Now my function is returning zero. Now, what is this return zero? As of now, what I will do is simply I will remove this line. And now this is my function, that there is a hello function and whose data type is number. And I have said that it will return zero. And I am not executing the function. If I'm running it, it will not print anything. This is from the previous one, right? This is from the previous one. Now, what if you're calling the function hello? Will it print zero now? No, it will not print. Because return statement means that it will return the value. It will return the value. What's, what is the return value? Or what exactly is return? So now let's say there are two friends. There are two friends, A and B, right? So one day this A has taken the mobile of B for some work. And after completing that work, A is saying that now I will return the mobile. And now if B is not there, B went his home. Now to whom A should return the mobile? To no one. It means that for returning something, we need someone to accept it. If you are returning something to anyone, we need someone to accept it, right? It's not like that you can throw it on the road and say, oh, I have returned your mobile, check it on road. No, it's not like that. Once you are returning something, it requires someone to accept. Agree? If you are returning something, it generally requires someone to accept. So what I will do is, I will say like this, that whatever this function is returning, directly print that in a statement. So console.log hello. So now it is printing the hello function. And this is what we are getting now. Now to whom I assign this value? This print statement, that you can print this value, or else you can say that let num equals to hello. Let num equals to hello. Now who is accepting the value 0? Num, because I am returning to num. This is what the return statement is. And now what if I print the value of num? It should print 0, and definitely it is printing 0. Now the case is, if I'm trying to check the type of num, if I'm trying to check the type of num, what is the type of num? Number. But we are not declaring it number. But after all, it will say number, because we have seen one thing as type inference. because it will infer from the automatically. Typescript will check its that from where it is coming. Screen is showing in small size. Okay. It is what do you mean by return statement? And this return statement will not work only on the number. It can work on anything. Let's say if I am saying that my hello function is a string. Now return is showing you error. You know what return is saying? Return is saying that your function is a string. Why you are trying to return a number value? So simple thing I'll do is that's it. Now this 0 is a string. That's what you meant by return statements. Okay. That's what you by return statement we can execute multiple operation. How Arshad? How we can execute multiple operation? Understood the return statement? Now if I'm writing here void, if I'm writing here void I think I have told you void and undefined. If I'm writing here void and now on void return is showing me error. Now this is saying that you are trying to return a string, but your function is void. Now what if I remove this particular thing? There is no error. There is no error. Why it is like if you are typecasting your function to some data type, you should return something, right? If you are typecasting it to number, you have to return a number. If you are typecasting it to string, you have to return a string. Okay. Now let's see. What I will say here is console.log. This is a normal function. This is a normal function. And at last, just execute the function directly. Execute the function directly. Now, it is supposed to print this function. This is a normal function and it is printing actually. Why it is printing? Because we are not returning the things. Okay, we are not returning anything to this function. What exactly we are doing? We are just directly printing. And why we are not returning anything? Because it's a void. Now, can we return something to void also? Like this? It will be error now. See, void I think I have already told you when there is nothing. The error is saying you that you it is expressing something, it is expressing error. But the case is the void will work without any return statement. Okay, understood the functions now? Now let's see it from the starting again. What we will do is let's create a general calculator. Any problem? Let's create a general calculator. So what I will do is function of add. Function of add, and if it is a function it should have small brackets. It's very common, and this is what I'm doing. Function of add. Now the case is this add will be a number, so typecast it to number. Done. I have typecasted it to number, but if you are typecasting it to number, you should return a number now. You should return a number now. So what I will do is I will declare one variable here that let sum. So it is a variable sum and I will typecast the sum to number. I think now you understood that how to add types, colon and what type you want to add, just write that thing. So colon number. Okay. Understood? Now, as I want to create a calculator, simple calculator, the user, is it necessary to return up typecasted number? Yes, of course, it is necessary. Now, let's say if user is trying to enter some value, so what I will do is one calculator will be like this also. Let's say here I will write let a colon number, then I will say b colon number, let a colon number, and then I will say b colon number. So there are two numbers a and b, and then I will say let sum colon number equals to a plus b, and after that I will return the value of sum. See, sum is also a number, right? Sum is also a number. Sum is also a number. Understood or not? And that's why we can use. But as of now, we are not doing like this. What I will simply say, I'll say like this. Let's say let a equals to 4, and then I will say let b equals to 5, and then I will say let sum equals to a plus b, and then I will say return sum. Okay, simple thing I have done. As sum is a number now, but we are not declaring it. Are we declaring anywhere? No. Again, it's taking as a number because it is using inference. Sometime it will try to detect also. Use the brain. Now, if I am calling the add function, is it supposed to print 9? Will it print? Will it print or not? No. It's not printing anything. Why it's not printing anything? Again, the same thing, because here in the function we are not printing anything, we are returning it, and for returning we need someone to accept this value. So here directly you can write either console.log, you can write like this, console.log. Now it will print 9 and it is printing, or else you can give this particular value to someone. Let's say let n equals to add, and then you can print, and both will work. Understood the return statement now? But before return statement, if I'm directly writing like this, console.log sum, means I am printing the value of sum directly and then returning the sum. Now, as we don't need this return sum, because before that only we are printing the value of sum. So add, if you are calling the function, it is printing 9, because here only we are printing it. That's why it's also printing. But the case is I am giving the static values, means I am writing the values by myself. So it's not a calculator, right? Let's say you open the mobile calculator and it is saying that 4 plus 5 equals to 9. It's not a calculator then, right? It's just a normal unit. But for making it a calculator, we should accept the value from user, right? We should accept the value from, sir, why number? Colon number, because we are saying that this particular add function will work on number. That's why typecasting to number. Now I think in JavaScript you might have discussed about arguments. What are arguments? What are arguments? Yes, last, near to the pillar. What are arguments? Fast. Next. So do you think that in which pace you are speaking I can hear this? Then speak loudly, or else I'll call you here. Speak loudly. What are arguments? Which holds values or data. Okay, what is the general meaning of argument? Fight, right? Argue. You are doing argue with me. Why are you arguing with me? And now we are using that same thing in our programming, arguments. So generally, when we are arguing with someone, what we are saying? We are just representing our facts, right? Now let's say you and your brother is arguing with who ate the chocolate. Now he will say, no, no, at that time I was outside of the house. You will say, I was also outside of the home. So now in the argument you are actually giving some facts. Okay, so now how to add the arguments? So this add to this add function, I will say that you will use two arguments. There will be a argument which will be a number, and there will be b argument which will be a number. Okay, understood? Understood? A is will be a number, b will be a number. Yes, guys, you will get the notes. Don't worry about notes. Try to learn here. Now, what is the case here? Now, user can enter the values to the function. So now a simple thing, I will say that let sum equals to a plus b, and then we will print the value of sum, console.log sum, and then as we have typecasted it to a number, so just return 0 or some whatever, but you should return a number. Okay, now this is the program that I have written. Now what I will do is simply I will call this function that add. Now you tell me what value you want to add. 100 with 1 108. There is nothing called as 108. 108, it's nothing. You know the difference between not and 0? Anyone knows? Know it. Okay, now once you are running the program, it is printing 208. How? This 100 value is going to A. The way in which you have described them in the function, the values will go in the same way. And this 108 will go to B. Now, let's make another thing. So add, yes, any number. I'm asking only two numbers. Just say any random two numbers. 20, 24, 20, 40. Very easy number you are giving to JavaScript. 60 is the answer. Who will use 20 and 40 for calculator? Who will use calculator for 20 and 40? Oh, someone is giving very good numbers in chat box. These kind of numbers we use calculator, right? Here are you declaring add number function return type. Monu, what is this question like? Here are you declaring add number? Of course, you can see this number we are declaring, right? Now let's check this answer. So yes, it is printing this one number. Now this add function is written with the arguments. You can use it multiple times. Okay. But we are passing the arguments, means we will not have the static values. Now arguments are the parameters that will be given to the functions when function is called. We don't need to give the static value, right? Values will come to the function when someone is calling them. Now what I will do is simply I will call the function without writing any value. What is going to say? Not a number, because we are nan. You understand? Nan, what is nan? Not a number. It is saying that it's not a number, and even you are getting an error here. So now it is saying that expected two arguments. This function is saying you that I am expecting two arguments but got 0, but you are not giving a single one also. So what I will do, one argument I will give to it. Now check the error. It is saying that I am expecting two arguments but got one. Now let's say what are the arguments. These are the parameters that are given to a function when a function is called. when a function is called. Okay, understood arguments? Now, same way, I will create the function of all addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. So, same function I will copy paste. Now, there are four functions. Okay. Now, what I will do is here I will say sub means subtract, and it will also take a and b two numbers, but here it will sum to sub and a minus b, and here it will print sub and it will return also sub. Done. And this is a multiply function, so simple I will write mul, and this will also be mul, right? And it will return the mul. Okay. And this is going to be a division function, so I will write div. Okay, done. Here I have to change the sign, and here also I have to change the sign. Okay. Now what we are going to do is let's give the values to our calculator. So now let's call the add function, and to the add function I will say 45 plus this one's number. Okay. We are getting some error on addition, comma, where relation. What happened? Wait. What's expected? Okay, plus is not given. Okay. Then what I will do, calling the sub function. So now what I will do, 45 comma 50. Now it is supposed to give -5 answer because this is the a and this is the b, and we are printing a minus b. Now I will give some particular value to the mul function. Let's say 45 comma 50, and to the diff also I'll give something 56 comma 28. Okay, now I have called all the functions. Understood? And now this is what we are getting. This is the sum, subtract, multiply, and divide. Simple thing. Okay, understood? Fine. That's how you work with the functions. Now tell me if you have any doubt in these functions, arguments, and typecasting it to them, either number, either string, either boolean, or something else. Tell me. Or else if you want to write this code, you can. Because you have to do this task, building a simple calculator interface with functions. Those who are not writing, I'll delete this code in 1 minute. You have 1 minute to write. Yes, written guys. Now what we are going to do is we will try to build a calculator that is actually a calculator. Okay, that is actually a calculator, means we will make use of our HTML also here so that we can build that. First you write same concept we will use there, same, a little bit different. Okay, we will not pass the argument, just write it fast, and if you have not written, time is completed. Okay, now let's go to VS Code. I want to make sure that you are comfortable with the functions and everything. So now let's write calculator here, and I'll open the same folder in VS Code. Okay, so as our tradition, index.html, style.css, not needed. I will simply create a script.js. Okay, let's keep the boilerplate code. You know this boilerplate code? What we write for this? Very good. Now what I will do is I will create two input box in which user will write the value. In which user will write the value. Because in TypeScript or this is journal way, we are calling the functions. What I want is user should write the value somewhere and then you should get the answer. Let's do it now. Simple thing I will do. So let's keep the center tag first. What center tag will do? What center tag will do? So input type equals to tell. What is tell? What is input type equals to tell? Huh? Anyone, telephone. Is there any difference between telephone and number? Is there any difference? You know this or not? If you don't know, just say no, I will tell it now. If you are writing that input type equals to number and then you are checking it, so that will come with increment and decrement button. This one. And that we don't like. So if you want to remove this, just use input type as tell. Telephone. So it will not come now. Okay. That simple thing. So there will be two input box where user will write its value. So I will say input type equals to tell again, and its ID will be INP2. Okay. After that, what I will do is I will create four buttons for addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. So first button will be for addition. Okay. And now let's create. So second one is subtraction and third one will be for multiplication and the final one will be for division. Now this is how they are supposed to come. So let's keep a line break tag here. So like this they are coming now. Okay. And do one thing, keep the line break tag there also. Okay. Like this. Now simple case, user will able to type the value here and this answer should be here. That's it. Now we will display our answer somewhere. So let's create a h1 for that, a blank h1, and I will give it ID as result. That here I will display the result. Now what I will do is I'll go to my script.js file. So let's link it. So I will say script src equals to script.js. Okay. Now What I will do is at first I will check the value from these two input box. So here I will say that let a equals to document dot get element by id, and what is the id there? inp1 dot value, means I want the value of this box. So if you are trying to take the value out of an input box, call it by id and pass dot value. Okay, same way I will use here, let d equal b equals to document dot get element by id, and here the id will be inp2. Very good. inp2 here also. inp1 here also I will write dot value. And now I will attach four functions to these buttons. So same, this will perform a on click function as add. This will perform the add function. Okay, this minus button will perform subtract function, right? This particular button will perform the multiple function. So simple, I will write on click mul, right? And at last this will perform the division function. Now this is like attaching the functions. Let's write the functions in JavaScript now. We can use Typescript also because you are not comfortable with that as of now. So now first function is add function. Okay, add function. Now what we will do? Simple, let sum equals to a plus b, because we are calling the values here in a and b. After that, just write the value there. So hey, there I will say that let r equals to document dot get element by id, and what is the id of that heading? Result. Now that heading comes here, then you can write r dot inner html equals to sum. That's it. Let's check. So here I will say that 12, and okay, we missed something. inp1 id, here inp2 id, function is add. So add may be a particular number, so what I will do, add num. Document inp2 dot value 2 dot value result r dot answer to sum. We are missing something here, give me a minute. Console dot log a means it is not able to accept the values. Sum is not defined. Script.js, script.js, everything is correct only, right? Don't talk. So this add number should just write the value of a there. Okay, got it. Hmm. Now just tell me one thing. If we are saying that if you are taking some particular value from your number a, no, not like that. Now what I'm saying is, let's say this particular input box is giving some value to your script. So what it will return by default? Add num ab. No guys, not like that. Here We were using Bhushan, we were using those things in like static way. Now what I want is user will write the values in this particular box and he should be able to check the answer here. Now what it will return by default? What it will return by default? You have worked with input box? Worked or not? Worked or not? Then what it will text? So what will be the data type of the text? What will be the data type of the text? String. Now we are trying to add the particular string here. Okay, that's what we want. Now let's say from A I will remove this particular dot value, and simple thing I will say here parse int. Yeah. So now what I will do is let function I will write later. Just first write let document dot get element by id, and id is result, and there what I will say r dot inner html equals to a. I'm not checking the value, and this is what I will say here. Let's say 12, and it is returning object html input element. Means it is returning a element, but what I want, it should return the value. It should return the value. And this is if you're writing something here, and now it's not returning the value. It should print the value also, right? It should print the value. Then why it's not printing? Okay, you might say that JavaScript is working first, defer. So what we will do? We will merge these things into a function. Let's say function of add num, and I'll keep these things inside the function. Now this particular button of add should show the value here. Now even if you are checking it that whether it is getting or not the value, so just type here console.log a undefined. It's not there. Now you can check the code also that maybe it is writing the value to HTML. So scroll body and to this H1, nothing is there. Okay, nothing is there. Understood? Now what I will do is let's remove this line and remove this line also. Function I am removing directly I will set the value and without the parameter. So here I will say r dot inner html equals to a object html input element. And now if you check that what is a, just go to console and type there console.log a. It is saying that it is a input box type equals to tell whose id is input 1 and it's returning. Now on a it is returning. If you are casting its value, what you are saying that the value of this input box, and again if you are going there, just check. Now what I will do, first I will write some particular value. So let's say I have written the value. Now go to console and check console.log a. Now nothing is there. Now let's change the entire scenario. What I will do, this particular input type equals is returning a text value. Okay, it's returning the text value. Dhanush, entire chat GPT code, don't paste here. So now what I have done is type is text. Now let's write some text here and try to check whether it is giving us the text or not. So I will say console.log a again. Means actually the problem is we are not able to get the value from input box. That's the problem. See, if I am writing answer in 1 second, you can't understand anything. First, you should understand the problem. Or what I want is let's remove the entire thing, and I will say to you that there is a input box, input type equals to text, and what I will do is simple thing. I will say that there is one h1 tag whose ID is result. Whatever thing you are writing in this input box should display in the heading. Means whatever you are writing here, there will be a button check me. So we will attach some function. Okay, we will attach some particular function to that. So let's say there is a button. So here I will say click me, and I will attach a one particular function on click as show num or show text. So I will write the show text. Now in a script, what I will do, same I will take it from inp1. So let's give it id, where its id is inp1. And now attach the function show text, function of show text. Okay. So now let r equals to document dot get element by id. Id is result, where we will pass the value, and r dot inner html equals to a. This is what we want. Now it's not giving the value. Means this input box is not giving the value. Why? Why it is not giving the value? Now there are the unit test. Now we don't know. There are two things. There is one input box and there is one button. Now we don't know that which one is not working. Right? We don't understand. So for that, what I will do is for this function, I will write some normal things. So I will say that let a equals to 4, let b equals to 5, and then I will print console.log a plus b. Now it should print 9. Once you are going there and refreshing, okay, I refreshed it, click me. Not, but once you are going to its console, you can see 9 there. Means button is working fine. 9 is printing there. Once you are clicking it again, 9, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means every time it is increasing the counter. That this much time you have printed. Let's refresh it. 9, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. Means button is working fine. There's no problem with the button. There's no problem. Then who is creating the problem here? Now this is the case we want. Okay, this is the case what we want. Now if I'm writing something here, again, now you check its console again, and now just try to check what is there in R. So I will say console.log R. So it is saying that R is not defined, but what we are doing here is we are defining the R. This error I intentionally, actually this is a error now, not a bug. This is a complete error. And what is the error here that I want you to check here? This is very basic. Simple case, whatever text I'm writing in the input box, after clicking the button, I want to show it to a heading. That's it. Okay, tell me one thing. If I'm writing my JavaScript here and if I'm writing it here, is it the same thing or different thing? Same, different. So what is the difference? What is the difference? Same. No, Dhanush, they are different. But what is the difference here? Will it create any difference in my particular code? See, this is the case when you are keeping the script file at the top. And now this is the case when you are keeping the file at bottom. Now console is not giving you any error. But if you are writing at the top, you were getting an error, right? So this is different where you are keeping your script file. And now let me change the question. If you are starting your live server extension, which file will be loaded first, HTML, CSS or JavaScript? HTML. Sure. Which file will be loading first? HTML or script? CSS is different. It can't run at first. HTML. Why? Why HTML will run first? You have supporting answer for it? That if you are saying that HTML will run first, can you support your answer also? It is the structure of the page. So what? Script is the brain of page, right? Script is the brain of page. Yes. Learn it and then tell me. But now the question is again same. There is an input box which will accept the value, type as text. Actually, it can accept anything. If it is text, it can accept number also. It's not like that. We have to use JavaScript for that. Now its ID is INP1. There is a button who will perform an on click operation as show text on click me, and then in show text what we will do is this particular thing. Now what I want to do is I will take this let a inside this function. Will it create any impact? Tell me, will it create any impact or not? No. If I'm taking the input box inside and now it's returning the value. That's why I asked you, tell me what will render first, HTML or JavaScript? Simple logic, very simple. What is the case when you are keeping this let inside the function? It's in the definition of the functions are the block of code and that value was outside of the block, right? So how you can expect it, but it will work. It will work on checking the values in tic-tac-toe, like that checking is working there. I record the whole story. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we got the error. Let's go back to the previous code and we will build the calculator. Okay. So they are the functions now. And let's check how they will look. So they are looking like this. But now in a script, once you are writing their function, so function of add. So add function will accept the values inside only. So let a equals to document dot get element by id, and id is inp1, right? Inp1, and here I will say that let b equals to document dot get element by id, and id is inp2. After that I will say that let sum equals to a plus b, right? And then let r equals to where you have to write the value. So document dot get element by id, and id is result. And at last I will say that r dot inner html equals to sum. This is what I want to say. Now let's check whether it's working or not. So it will not, means it will work with a problem, and this is the problem. that object HTML input element, because we have to write dot value here. So write dot value, and here also I will write dot value. Again, there will be a problem. It will not work fine now also. Now what it is doing, it is adding two strings, right? Because input box by default will give the string values. So what we have to do, we have to parse them to integer. So what is the case there? You have to parse it. So here a equals to parse int a. Parse int a. Same with the b. So here I will add b equals to parse int b. Now the things are called, these two are integer value. Now let's check. Yes. Now I think we might did okay. This is the error here. So we have to capital I. Sometimes it's like that. It's working fine. That's it. Now what we have to do is just copy paste the same function again 4 times, because working will be almost same. Now this is going to be a divide function. So write div here and everything will be same. Here I have to write div and a divided by v, and here I have to write div. That's it. And here I will write multiply function mul, and here I will write mul, and it is multiply. It is going to be subtract function, and it will be subtract function. It will be subtract, and it will be a minus b. Okay, done. Now let's check. So here I will write 12 and 13. Addition is 25, working fine. Subtraction is -1. Same values. Multiplication is 156. Divide is this one. Working fine. Simple calculator by using functions. Okay. So that's how you can use your functions along with your HTML. Along with your HTML. Understood the function? Function inference. So in TypeScript, if sometime you are not writing the functions type, it can accept the values. So now your task is to create this simple kind of calculator. And this is a simple calculator. I will show you one calculator built by my student. This is a simple thing, like it's not good also, but I'll show you one good working calculator. Give me a minute, I'll check it. Don't talk, just guys. I said don't talk. Guys, can you hear me? Then why are you talking? I said it thrice. So this is the calculator. Exact how a calculator looks like. There you can, this is input box will not work. Here you have to just type the values like this. And this is what you'll get. So I think those who are from Python, they better know this double asterisk. What does it mean? Power. So this is the power. As it's a big number, so I will check 2 to the power 3. See it. So this kind of calculator, all those stuff we can build same way. Just writing same function. Okay? Understood? I think functions are clear now. Or you have any doubt? Functions are clear? Okay, let's have a quick recap to the functions. That functions are the block of code. They are used to perform a certain task. Functions are generally callable. Callable means we can call them. We can also reuse the functions. Now, what are arguments? These are the parameters that are given to a function when a function is called. Now, in how many ways you can define your function? So, syntax I will write here. And syntax is function hello. Either you can say that it is a number, function hello, or else you can say that it is a string. Then you can say function hello. You can say that it is boolean, means it will return true or false. Then there will be a function which will be void. And whenever you are writing these three, while writing these three, return statement is mandatory. You have to return something. If your function is a number function, you have to return number. If it is a string, you have to return a string. Okay. Understood now? Functions. If you have any questions, just let me know now. Yes. Do you have any questions, guys? Mul automatically parsing, here we don't need any. Yes, multi, because see, for addition we don't we need to parse, because addition works on string also, concatenate operator. Yes. Any questions, guys, from your side? No questions? Okay. So did the feedback to you? Feedback? No? Okay. So as I think only draw condition logic. Just think a little, you can do it. Okay, I'm giving you a hint for that. There are 9 cells. So you declare one counter, and once one cell is clicked, increase the counter value to by 1. So once 9 clicks are done and no check when function is included, then it's a draw. So just handle the clicks. If the click is 9 times, then it's a draw condition. So as 1 week of your classes are completed, 1 week completed, right? And now we are heading towards the second week, and now we are just going on with the things. Now what I want is I will display one form here, and in this form, whatever the good things of your class that you really like about class, you can write those things, that okay, these are the good things in class. And because if you're writing those, we will continue those things. And what problems you are facing, that also you can write, that I am facing this, but because generally I know that you guys have fear and lots of things. You will not never ask. But what I want is you should not compromise with the learning. So it's better to write the things. It's gonna be private. No one is gonna see. I'll read your message and this simply. Okay? Understood? And whatever your real thoughts about the classes, about me, content, or the whatever, write it. Okay? I'm just give me a minute. I'll display a form here. Whatever your actual things are, just write those only, because it will help us to run your classes smoothly. I have not asked you to talk, guys. Boys, and whatever help or anything if you want related to class, and just let me know so that we can work on it clearly. Because I know that you guys will have fear, so you directly won't say it. Just don't talk, please. And if you have any questions regarding the classes that you are not comfortable in asking in class, you can ask. Okay, so you can go to your browser and just type this particular thing and do it fast because we are running out of time. So just whatever I'm typing, you just type exactly in your Google. So forms dot gle slash cge double nine capital S small q 6, and after 6 this is O, not 0. Let me check whether this form is working or not. Hold on, I'm just checking whether it's working or not. So yes, this form is working. Okay, and this is the link for it. Go for it and do it fast. And no need to get fear in typing this thing. Okay, because it is for your welfare only. Just do it fast, guys. Once you complete it, I will read out some of the common problems here that you guys are facing. So till now we have got 22 response. Okay, so let's discuss about some of the common things that we got. So as we'll discuss the problems that you are facing till now. The question was what problems you are facing. So no problem, nothing, no screen is small. Okay. If your screen is small and you can't see properly, you have to say it, right? Right now, no problem. I'm not facing any problem. I want more example and more explanation in content. Very speed running classes. Are we really going with speed? You haven't seen my speed till now. Teach the content little bit slow. I am already very slow. Already. It's not speed. Please provide notes. I said it multiple times, and one last time I'm saying notes will be provided to you once the Google Classroom is created and I have got the access to upload the files there. Not proper response for doubts. Is it? I'm not responding to doubts. Timing issues. Can't do anything with it. Nothing. You are teaching clearly. Timing issues. If you are having some issues related to timings, we can't do anything in this. In Angular, like you have problem in Angular, but we have not started Angular yet. Screen size. So for screen, you should join your meetings from laptop or you can zoom your mobile screen. Screen is small. Zoom it. Okay. Some good things we got. So generally, if I say I got two, three major problems. One is notes. For that, I have already given the answer. Second is a smaller screen. Now, if you are facing some problem like this, you have to say it right. I'm asking, is it visible? Yes, you are saying visible, and we are going with that. If you have any problem, you have to speak it at, at the same time. And third thing is speed. Again, we are not going with a good speed, but we'll try to give assessments every weekend. Of course, last was the first week, right? That's why we won't give. Okay, fine, guys. It's just nice connecting with you all. We'll connect again tomorrow. Have a nice time, everyone. Keep learning.